This is Jake King. Jake, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, my name is Jake King. I own a commercial glass company. My company's been around since 1977. My father owned it for 30 plus years. And so my wife and I bought it from him 3 years ago. So, there's a lot that we had to navigate because it's, the culture and a lot of things that we had to break as we purchased the company fully. We did okay, but we've been for the last 3 or 4 years, we've been pretty flat. We haven't increased our sales.
And where are you at roughly revenue-wise?
So when we purchased the company, we were doing about 1.2. We shot up to 2.4, and then we've been at 2.4, 2.3, and then 2.3.
Okay. Tell us about your team makeup too. How many people on the team?
So we have 8 installers, we have project coordinator, we have field servicing manager, and then I have my estimator who is remote international.
Awesome. So what's your question for the group that they can step in and help you with?
So as I was developing the company, I was ultimately going out and selling the jobs, and then I was also managing the jobs. So as I would go out and meet contractors, I had to then come back and ultimately manage it. We just recently hired a project coordinator who we're raising up to be a project manager. We're training her, and I think she's going to be pretty good in about 6 months. Right now, I am just getting geared up to go out and to meet new contractors. But for the last 5-6 years, kind of what I've been doing hasn't really been working, and that's going out, meeting new contractors. But there's each contractor, we're not directly selling to the client. We're going to the contractor as we're in construction. So it's hard because every contractor already has 2 or 3 glass companies that they already use. So I'll go out there, I'll bring some pastries, I'll introduce myself, send some emails, but it's really hard to break that trust factor. I guess my question is what are some creative ways I can market my company to contractors who are not the direct clients? So I can break that trust factor. I can get in and build that trust with them, because I feel like I've bought a lot of corridors and I've done a lot of things, but I feel like not much is coming from it. So if there's any creative ways you guys have as all founders on what I can do to launch or to increase my revenue, because like I said, we've been pretty flat for the last 3 years.
Great setup. All right, let me send it to the room. What questions do you all have? Yeah, Chris, let's start with you. Any others? Hands up. Yeah, Jeff. Let's go Chris and then Jeff.
What does your product do that the other glass can't do? Is it low iron?
Wait, what'd you just ask? Is it low iron?
Low iron. Yeah, sorry to get geeky.
Can you tell us I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, low iron, ultra clear glass that just...
Dude, just sell to him in his houses, man. He needs glass. You like nature and sunshine and all that? So this question was what's different about you or your process, or? I
think we are a company that's really trying to do a good job. Ultimately in construction, it's hard for, I don't know if you guys experience this, but when a contractor schedules you, we show up when we say we are, and we do give very competitive pricing. And I think we just give a better product in terms of our service. There's nothing proprietary in what we do, but I think it's just our service, competitive pricing, and I think we're pretty consistent. We communicate well throughout the process, which isn't normal for this, for the construction industry.
Cool. Jeff?
When you're going out to meet these contractors and bringing in portos and stuff, is your read on how that's ending, not in sale, because there's a trust barrier, or do you think that if you had more contacts with contractors, more volume, that some of them would work out, or is it really trust that you're trying to break through?
I think that if there was more volume, and if I was dedicating more time, because there is the follow-ups that have to happen, but ultimately I think if I did increase my volume, it would help. And usually if they're going to award us a job in the beginning, they'll do a small job that's maybe a couple thousand, and then you do that one, and then you build up the trust with that one job. It's pretty much every contractor. They have a whole bunch of project managers, and each project manager is pretty much its own owner, because you can build trust with that project manager, but there's also other ones that that I need to market as well. But ultimately, I do feel like if I increase my volumes, it would help.
How many do you need in a month?
I'm sorry?
How many new contractors do you need?
I'm trying to block out 2 days a week where I'm meeting, 3 or 4 a day. So, probably like 30 maybe.
I feel like you have another question in you.
No, that's it.
You sure? All right. Yeah, great questions. Jack? Hands up again, one more time. Let's go, Jack. Okay, I can't see who that is, sorry, my eyes. Let's go, Jack, first, and then we'll be back. Ginny, thank you.
With social media the way that it is, especially with contractors and a lot of them being on there, showing a lot of their process, a lot of their videos of like, kind of a time lapse of like, hey, this is what we did, this is how we did whatever. Are you guys doing any content? You guys have any social media presence right now?
We do have a social media. We don't post as much as we probably should, but I guess I fully can't say that I fully tried it, but I know I follow a lot of our contractors. We do post pictures, we tag them. I think it's maybe something that can be in the future, but I haven't really had too much success with just increasing our social media presence.
Let's go to Ryan next, and then to Ginny in the back.
Jake, it seems like your role without your business is comprised of both sales and operations. You talk about sales focus and 2 days a week. Do you find that your constraint towards the sales side of things is based on your leg or your foot in the operations world? Is that what primarily pulls you away from meeting more contractors or putting more effort towards that side of things?
Hey.
Yeah, I think, because we were gonna hire like a project manager that was getting paid, I don't know, expecting like 120, 150,000. We ended up going with a project coordinator, less pay, but there is a lot of training and there is a lot of time invested into this individual right now. So yeah, I'm being pulled in so many different directions. But I do think that there will be freedom in the future to be able to do more than those 2 days. But yeah, I am being pulled in a lot of different directions right now.
You notice how we're clawing deeper here? It's like we're getting closer to the issue. That's a great question, great set of questions by Jeff too. Okay, Ginny was in the back, right?
I also have a set of question because part of it was answered with the social media question, but is there any other marketing efforts that you're making to show how you're different from your competitors to these clients, or is it only when you're in person showing up and just through word of mouth or what you're sharing verbally? Is there anywhere else online that you're marketing yourself?
We have spent some time getting our website looking better, which I think has helped us for a couple of clients. Haven't done too much. I did get like a pamphlet of a lot of the jobs that we've already completed, and I do bring that to the clients when I'm meeting them, and they've been impressed by it. I haven't had too much fruit come in from it yet, but I know that's a newer thing that I've tried.
All right, right up front. Was there another one? Was that you, Kristen? Okay.
What's a success story that you've had in sales getting a new client? I know sales is hard, so I focus on success in general, but what's something that's worked for you over the last few years that's got you a new client?
So yeah, construction is very relational. There was one project manager that I was working with. He bounced around a couple of different contractors, but I was talking with him about a job that I really wanted. And as I went to the office to talk to him about other jobs, he let me know we didn't get the job. He was disappointed, but he just kind of said, well, this contractor got the job. So I got in an elevator, I called that contractor and I said, hey, we did this job. I heard you guys got awarded it. I would love the opportunity to introduce myself, and it just so happened I got lucky. I believe, God bless me, because the project manager who got awarded that job with that new contractor was someone I worked with in the past, and we ended up getting awarded it. So that was pretty cool. That happened last year for one of our bigger contracts that we've ever got.
Awesome question. And then Chris, this will be the last question, then we'll go right to recommendations.
What part of the 700 jobs that you have right now are you doing because you feel like you have to do it because you're the founder or the boss, that you don't like?
I don't, which is kind of embarrassing to say, but I don't like training people. I feel like it's really taxing on me, and I don't know, maybe some hurts I had in the past for training people and then them leaving, or we've had people who built some experience with us and then they were gone, and then but yeah, I think the training part is really taxing for me.
Can you raise your hand if you don't like training? Okay, it's not embarrassing, look, like most people know. It's a great question. All right, let's move to recommendations. What do y'all got? Yeah, let's, a lot of them. Okay, let's go Chris, Nadia, Sarah, Jack, was there another one? Yeah, right front, Miri, Sam. Did I get them all? And Jeff. We're gonna do all those. If I named your name, you get to go. Let's hit those quick, but I don't want to miss anyone. So start with Chris.
I'll go fast. I literally every day I'm on the other side of the conversation getting cold calls. You're not in the wood flooring business, so you already have a leg out, very saturated. But I think one thing that gets my attention is if somebody comes in and talks about something that I need, or maybe I didn't even know that I need. So some of the siding people right now are, using the fires. Oh, we now offer this metal product that's very resistant, things like that. And then I'm going to take something out of Angie's playbook. Sorry, Angie, you might have wanted to do this, but the YouTube tutorials could be a great passive way to where you can educate and kind of take yourself out of the role of the constant, communication or travel or whatever, and just put some YouTube videos out there.
Awesome, thanks Chris. I think Nadia, were you next? Yep.
This is something that I learned, one of our groups, Luke, you recommended this. Trust is a big deal for you. You said the word like 85 times. And I would just like lock in on that, and you seem extremely confident in how and why you're different from other contractors, which is that you show up on time and you're there. I would give a guarantee, and that would really differentiate you from other people in your industry of saying like, well, if we don't show up on time or with whatever, all the specifics that it's free or you discount or something like that would differentiate you in the contracting space for sure. And that's a real like attention grabber, and you can do a ton of stuff with that on social media and all the places.
I love it. Back table, is it Sarah? Yeah, Sarah will go next.
Stan, Jake, are you in the arena?
I am.
Good. That was my first recommend, join the arena. There's a lot there. I think just what I would recommend is just figuring out what makes you different. And so you talked about some of those core values, but more than just a box of Portos. Like, what is the thing that's going to be that's not superficial, that's actually in the DNA of your company. And you were talking about competitive prices. I would say don't undersell yourself. Add value. What is it that you're adding on to? Well, we're going to do it faster, better, 100%. If you're not happy, money back guaranteed. And then that added value will bring those contractors back to you over and over and over. I think it was with Pat, we were talking about this last week. To keep those contractors coming back with you. And then as far as social media, I think there's a lot that you can do. I would just recommend that you do it age appropriate. These contractors, depending on their demographic, most likely they're not on TikTok. So go with something that's going to be in their demographic, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, even if it's a paper brochure. I'm an old soul, I like pen and paper, I like something I can hold. Bring that with when you're meeting these contractors. They get to take it with them as a QR code, something that just kind of is a tether. So that's my recommendation.
Awesome, thanks Sarah. And right over here.
Yeah, I would say for me, from speaking from experience, B2B sales can be tough. We get try to be sold all the time. There's title companies, there's contractors that come in, and for us trying to switch who we're working with is more of a headache. It's like, yeah, this is not the best person I'm working with, but it's already a relationship, and I don't really feel like switching. So one of the things that we always get, dropped off, we get Portos, we get calendars, we get phone holders, and none of it really resonates, right? It just sits around and kind of collects dust. But there was one guy that came through, and he said, hey, listen, I just wanted to drop off. I have a whole bunch of leads for you. I think these are going to be great contacts, and if you want, I'll sit and call them for you, and I'll try to get you a lead. And I was like, this is crazy, But he took the time to figure out how he was going to bring me value, and actually kind of put his money where his mouth is, and I almost felt guilty, like, I need to give this guy some business. And we did. We gave him business for a while, and we're like, wow. He ended up not being the best, but he got our business. And I gave it to him, honestly. So he was great at sales, not great at what he did. But that's one thing you can stand out is like, how do I actually bring these people value rather than you showing up at businesses and say, hey, can I have your business? Nobody really loves to see that, and it's great to add value to them. The second part of that in terms of like adding value to businesses, I was going to say, is, yeah, I'll stick with that. I think that's good, is just try to add value to these businesses that you're gonna go and just go pull from.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Go to Ange next. And then Miri, you're after.
One of the big things that I would recommend, sounds like, again, you have to find a way to focus most of your time on like the most important thing in the business, which it sounds like is sales, maybe get someone else to train. But as you're doing sales, marketing really helps. And before I did Catch and Made Simple, I worked with a company called Impact, and we coached and trained on what I believe is the best sales marketing framework. I trained a ton of companies that were similar in your spaces. It's called They Ask You Answer. So if you guys need help with like marketing, I would get the book. It's called They Ask You Answer. The new updated book is called Endless Customers. It's a phenomenal book, and it like a lot of times we know that we need to make content, but we don't know what content to make. And we've talked a lot about trust. This content that is focused in this book is about making content around buying decisions and that builds trust. And so if you're looking for help there, like if that is a priority, I would highly recommend reading that book. It would really help.
Awesome. Thanks, Ange. All right, Tamiri. Got a couple more. Let's keep it to about 30 seconds each so we can get out on time.
The revenue, the year-over-year revenue that you mentioned, it sounds like it's pretty stable. So it sounds like you have no issue with retention of your clients. So I would recommend a old school referral program to incentivize the people who already you've developed that trust with. Incentivize them, adding the question on the questionnaire, like, do you know anyone else who we could talk to? Is there another project manager at your firm that would that you could recommend us to? And then on top of that, just at the end of the year, thanking people for their business and making sure that that gift basket is sent to everyone who has been able to demonstrate that trust with you.
That's right. Awesome. Is there one more over here? I thought there was one more. Yeah, it was Jack and then Jeff. Was that it? Awesome. So go Jack and then Jeff and we'll be done. Thanks.
Hey, so I'm actually a contractor. I've been a contractor since 2008. It's one of the things I've done. So I have found a lot of contractors that I've used on social media, on Instagram specifically. One of my talent guys that I found and used off of Instagram is because of his videos, I actually had trust that I could use him and that he would actually do my project correctly. So seeing him execute and seeing execute vision in just a quick time lapse allowed me to actually be like, this is the guy perfect for this job, and it allowed me to know that if I use him, I'm not going to be making myself look stupid or whatever. Everything's going to work out. And I've used him since then. The catch is he didn't have to lower his price either. His price was actually a little bit higher than everybody else's, but because I knew it would be done right and it would be done on time, I was okay with that. So were clients.
Hey, Jenny, aren't you glad you came today? You're going to get a lot of business. All right. Well said. All right, Jeff, take us home.
You need more leverage in your sales process, what you're doing. If you spend 2 full days a week, 3 to 4 like on-site client visits a week, and you've plateaued, I would try to fit those 3 to 4 client visits on one day or the equivalent of 1 day per week, and use the other day to do something new, to do some new type of sales that you have not done. So, there's been tons of great examples that have been given in the room. Maybe it's outbound email, maybe it's outbound calling. It's probably definitely content creation to generate leads that way. You've reached your plateau with the current time and energy that you have to put to this. You have to do something new there.
Yeah, well said. Can we give it up for this guy? Awesome.